When you look at the NFL, you have one half of the league playing 4-3 with their primary pass rushers as down linemen, while the other half employs the 3-4 scheme with the outside linebacker rushing from an upright position. So that's why for this video, I'm just going to rank the best pass rushers regardless of position. If you've been watching my other NFL draft positional previews, at the end of each one, I also give my take on which guys best fit the Eagles, so you get not only a national perspective, you get a local one as well. And if you want to check out my full rankings, click on that description box below. My number one guy might surprise some people. I'm a huge Vic Beasley guy. And I even had him at number one prior to his fantastic workout in Indianapolis. He ran a 4.5340, clearly not losing a step after putting on 10 to 15 pounds of muscle during the season. The muscle showed in his bench press. He's a matchup pass rush nightmare. He projects as a 3-4 outside linebacker in a 30 front scheme in the NFL, despite playing down at Clemson. He has a looping first step off the snap. He forces tackles to open their hips, and when they do, he'll spin back to the inside. He's very agile. He gets his hands up in the passing game and translates speed to power well. The problem with Beasley, though, during his senior year in college, he tends to get ineffective at times. He registered just one tackle in 3 of his team's first 7 games. So that is something a little concerning, but I see all the traits. I think he's an athletic freak, so I think he's going to be a really good one at the NFL level. I have Florida's Dante Fowler at number 2. He's projected to be a top 5 pick in many publications, but he's number 2 on my list. He's still very good, though. Fowler's a guy who has lined up at linebacker, defensive end, and defensive tackle while with the Gators. He moved around a lot on third down, and it's tough to locate him. From a 2-point stance, he shortens distances with his short area burst and has great speed to flatten against the runaway. He likes to use a chop down move when pass rushing off the edge. He times his snaps well. Overall, he's shown the agility to stand up from a linebacking spot, disguise in and out of gaps, put his hand in the ground, and even drop back in coverage. There aren't too many weaknesses on Fowler. He's most likely, a 3-4 outside linebacker because he has marginal size to be a full-time defensive end. So, Fowler's the number one guy on a lot of people's lists. But, like I said, Vic Beasley is number 1. And, before I get to my number 3 guy, because I kind of forgot to talk about this is an outstanding pass rushing class. There's a lot of good pass rushers coming out. And, there's going to be a lot of them in the first round. It's an A class. It's an A. Gets a grade of A. It's a good one. Gregory of Nebraska is number 3 on my list, but he may not be the third defensive end / outside linebacker taken due to character concerns. And, seriously, how can you fail a marijuana test at the combine? Get clean for that shit. Seriously. This is your career, man. And I don't know. Gregory is an effort, plays with a lot of effort, has a tremendous first step. He likes to use a lot of shimmy shakes to move tackles off the spot. He runs well. He's a long strider. He's slippery and tough to latch in the run game. He's got really long arms, and he knows how to use them when he plays with leverage. As I referenced earlier, there are concerns about his character. He was a top 5 pick before the combine. A lot of people were putting him up there, but now it's looking like he might go late first round. He's a guy, he's an interesting case, and I'm curious. I'm curious to see where he goes, but I think he can be, solid in the NFL. Shane Ray of Missouri checks in at number 4 on my list. Ray has a great first step. He's got lateral quickness. He has a nonstop motor. He's athletic, speedy, and possesses good body control. He showcases good counter moves and, had good production at the college level, tallying 19 sacks the past 2 seasons. The thing that I like seeing was he had a good game against Florida's DJ Humphries, who's projected to be, a top 10 tackle in the draft. Weaknesses on Ray, though, this isn't necessarily weakness, but he was a late bloomer. He gets pushed back really far once he's latched, and, he gets overwhelmed against size. Oregon's Arik Armstead is number 5 on my list. Armstead is long, slippery, and rangy. He's light on his feet, changes directions well. He's still young and raw, and I think his best football is still in front of him. But he really, improved from the beginning to the end of last season. There's a lot of upside here. Weaknesses on Armstead. He needs to get tougher. He needs to play more physical. That's my thing on him. You'll hear that sometimes with those Oregon guys. Yeah, they say they're not tough enough. Alvin Bud Dupree of Kentucky checks in at number 6. He came to Lexington as a tight end, played some receiver before being moved on the defense. He has speed, strength, and athleticism, and he showcased these traits at the combine. He translates speed to power well off the edge. He likes to use a chop move to win quickly when bending the corner. He also has good stop and start quickness off the edge. But the thing with him is, while he ran a 4.56 40 in Indianapolis, he doesn't play that fast on tape. He could be a workout wonder, one of those. I also think he needs to keep refining his pass rush moves. So, he's a guy, I'm curious to see if he pans out or not in the NFL. I have Virginia's Eli Harold ranked at number 7. He's fast and athletic off the edge. He has a very quick get off. He has legitimate bend. He's explosive through his hips, uses counter moves. He's best suited as a 3-4 outside linebacker because he doesn't possess the bulk to be a down lineman. He doesn't have the power to effectively set the edge against the run, and he's also limited in pass coverage. To round out the top 10, I have Utah's Nate Orchard at number 8. This is a name I know I'm going to fuck up. UCLA's Owa Odighizuwa. I'm not even going to try that again. And I have Mississippi State's Preston Smith at number 10. Okay, I will try it again. Owa Odighizuwa. I think I got it that time. Orchard is a guy who really came on last season, had 18.5 sacks. He has a lot of good pass rush moves, but he does disappear against the run. God, I got to say his name again. Odighizuwa. Fuck me. You know what? I'm just going to call him O. O is a good athlete, strong and explosive. He's strong against the run and flashed at the Senior Bowl. Smith has upside, but he's yet to put it all together yet. I'm curious to see, how he pans out, because I kind of like Smith a little bit. And I'm also curious to see how O does. Fuck you, O. As for my sleepers, the one guy I like a little bit is Danielle Hunter of LSU. He's a guy that had a really good combine. He ran the fastest 40 among linemen. He's tall, long, possesses pass rush talent. He just hasn't shown the production yet. So maybe it'll translate to the NFL. Maybe not. The guy to watch out for concerning the Eagles on draft day isn't necessarily a prospect. It's Deion Jordan of Miami. There's been rumors of him reuniting with Chip Kelly for like a year now. And, I'd say if the Eagles didn't have to give up a lot to get him, why not pull the trigger on a trade? Why the fuck not? If Philly does elect to use, a pick on a pass rusher, I can see like a 3rd or 4th round pick. And if they do use like a 3rd or 4th middle round pick on a guy, then I think that tells you all you need to know about Markus Smith. But with Connor Barwin on one side, Brandon Graham on the other, a pass rusher isn't a necessity, but it's a very deep and talented class. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go this route in the middle rounds. So, I would say they're going to take at least one guy just because, how deep it is. All right. So that's it for this video. I'm not going to try and say Odighizuwa again. I know I fucked that up again. That's a guy, I even looked at the pronunciation guide and I still couldn't get it right. So, there's some names that I will get it right eventually. There's a guy in the NBA right now, Giannis Antetokounmpo. It took me like a month to get his name right, so I know it's going to be the same way for good old Owa of UCLA. So hopefully he's good in the NFL, and hopefully I'll get his name right. So, yeah. All right. So that's it for this video. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at TheBitterBirds. So that's it. Later.